All right, everyone. Hello and welcome. Now, let's see. I am going to do a little presentation today before to get us started in order to, again, dive deeper into the realm of the problem, why we need this, and why it's so very important that we spread the word about what this is all about and why we've got to get more people to be drinking the water, understanding why you need to drink the water. That's what it's all about as we move forward. Just 1 minute. So I reorganize my share. And second. One second. Okay, that should do it. There we go. All right. So again, let's go back to the invisible threat in our homes, in our workplaces, um, literally in our schools, everywhere. Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time because the reality is that the presentation that you're going to see here is not the presentation that I intended to show on account of the fact that this one has gaps in it. But I guess when I left my office today, I didn't send the right one through to my email. So unfortunately, you'll get the message from my words, but the visuals that you're going to see are going to be appropriate, but they're not what I had intended. So bear with me on this one. So again, we're talking about the invisible threat that's literally everywhere. It's in our homes, it's in our offices, it's in our schools. And the bottom line is our one of our main and most important things is to be aware and understand electrical pollution, the EMF, and how to protect ourselves and why. And the ultimate thing that we want to do here is to reduce the negative effects of these things and then turn around and enhance the natural positive abilities within our bodies to actually do everything that it's supposed to do. So we're talking here about what the future is, and the future is frequency. It's reclaiming our vitality. And see, we live in this sea of invisible energy. Some of it can be a little bit positive, but most of it is very negative. But we do have the ability and we have the power to choose which frequencies we invite into our bodies. And so that's all comes through the processes that we do. So we're going to change our water. We're going to change our frequencies. We're going to change our lives as we move forward in order to allow ourselves to function the way we're supposed to function. So we're dealing with a situation where in some instances we have clean power. So in that case, we're talking about what's supposed to be the power that's coming into our homes. And that power is supposed to be clean as it comes in, and then it starts getting distorted as we start having all these additional noisy utensils and appliances and fridges and all these different things that are running through your home. And then it starts to turn into this dirty electricity, dirty power. So the clean electricity, as we show on the left-hand side, it's functioning with sine waves, and you can see it's smooth. It doesn't look it doesn't look invasive. It doesn't look aggressive. But if you look at the frequency, the energy on the right-hand side, where we're talking about the spike waves, you can see it doesn't look as friendly. It's aggressive. And so with this, the way that it's created is something that we need to be aware of. Because when we're not aware, then we don't know what to do in order to reduce the negative effects and then be able to help our bodies to do what they're supposed to do and do it better. So all this stuff comes from all the devices and things that were running off of electricity. So we're talking, like we said, Wi-Fi routers, compact fluorescent bulbs, dimmer switches, the variable motors in your washer, in your HVAC system, your furnace. So your TVs, especially plasma TVs, smart meters, super dangerous because they give off all kinds of bad energy. Cell phones, 5G, loose connections in your wiring in your house that causes arcing, so many different things that are capable of emitting. And, some of the things that we don't even think about, is anything that's transmitting through through the airways. Just a second, I'll just check, make sure everybody's okay, because I have a question. Microwaves, absolutely. So microwaves, it's literally everything that is plugs in. And I even go to the point of telling people your smartwatch is a problem because it has batteries and it is capable of also affecting you because it's so close to your nervous system. Most of your most precious and valuable nerves are running out through your wrists. And that's why you find that magnetic bracelets and energy bracelets and different things are done through your wrist. So there's a lot of connectivity through your wrist, through your whole body, into your whole nervous system. So by having these watches on, and there was another conversation that I had the other day, and it's even given me a thought as to whether I would change some of the things that I do. And that is understanding how just wearing the metals, jewelry on your body, how the energy from these metals affect your body and the flow of your energy, and could be an absolute negative to our body's ability to be peaked, to function at its optimum ability. So there's a lot that can go into understanding and trying to figure out how we can best manage our health, because there's so many areas and it's really not that complicated, because we're talking about the water that's in our bodies, the electricity that flows through, the nutrition that we need, whether it's vitamins or it's minerals, and basically giving our bodies the bare essential things that it requires to do all the things that it needs to do properly. Excuse me. So when we're talking about the sickness of it all, though, it means that you're picking up these signals all over the place, and your body is not designed in order to function within these things. And it's like the way they've described it in many ways, it's like you're going to try to do a phone call in the middle of a rock concert. It's just not conducive to a good time for anybody around. And again, it's like you've got a nice calm lake, and you drop a pebble into it, and it just creates waves of ripples, and you take away that smoothness that was on that lake and instantly created ripples across it. So understanding what we're doing, and it's not us doing it, but what the environment is doing to us, is very important because it's literally disrupting that DNA function within our body and allowing our muscles to be weaker, our thoughts to be confused. And let's just go through the list here and look at all the areas that this can affect. Because again, it's so important because I don't know about you, but I want to live a healthy, strong, and mobile life for as long as I possibly can. So, from a neurological point of view, meaning your brain and your nerves, it's going to affect possibly your headaches and your dizziness, your brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory loss, anxiety, irritability, insomnia, fatigue, tremors, and your muscle spasms. So I had some people the other day, and I don't know if people expect like a miracle, but I wanted these people to start using to test out the spray on their children that they're say are so hyperactive and all this other stuff. But you know what?
What are you talking about? Well, you just put it on. Turn it on.
So, Vesti, could you mute your microphone, please? Appreciate it. Yeah, for you. Hang on. Yeah. So, it was as if I was talking to the wall because it was more, the spray was working better for her finger, which she had jammed somewhere, chasing the child around that was out of control. But she got good results of spraying her finger, but I don't believe she sprayed the child more than once. So, it takes commitment for people to do this in order to be able to see what the potential is. And that's where our job comes in to be. For some people, maybe more than they want it to be. But for me, I'm thinking that this is where we want to be. We've got a life to live, and we want to do a good thing in helping to heal the world. So let's bring our best of what we've got and share it with the world. So when it comes to our hearts, these electrical impulses, these negative frequencies, and all the devices that we have can create palpitations and arrhythmia, which is irregular heartbeats and chest pressures in the chest, shortness of breath. And when it comes to our eyes, pressure behind the eyes, pain, deteriorating visions, and floaters, which I believe could be a really big one when it comes to the effects of the negative um, frequencies. And then with the skin and other areas, we're talking about rashes and itching, flushing in the face, burning sensations. And we do know about that, do we not, DJ? So digestive problems, dehydration, thirst, and tinnitus ringing in the ear. So the symptoms and the issues that can be noticeable from these things, they're not small things. They're things that can be totally irritating. And we understand that our bodies are 70+% water. And if you're not drinking good water, then chances are that you're running around and you're dehydrated and you're feeling tired all the time. And if you don't have good frequencies coming through you, then you don't have the energy, the power, the strength, because the EMF is bringing you down. It is wearing you down. And some people are even more susceptible to it than other people, which means that the effects for them can be devastating. And it can be to the point where they actually qualify for sick leave from work and things like that on account of the fact that for some people, they could walk into a room and because of the dynamics of the frequencies in that environment, instantly can make them feel sick to the point that they have to leave. They might not even realize why they're sick on account of the fact that it's so unexplainable. It's so invisible that unless they have some awareness, that this is even possible, then they wouldn't have any idea why they were sick. So they would go to, and through all my years of doing this, it's funny now that I think about it. I remember so many times um, dealing with people who had this issue, and they would go to the doctor, and literally the doctor would tell them that they're crazy. There's nothing wrong with them, even to the point of saying to some people, you need to see a psychiatrist because I think you have issues. People who have the ability to sense some of that negative energy and feel it, and have doctors tell them that they're crazy. It's that serious of a misunderstood issue within our environment that unfortunately it takes people to this depths when they're trying to take care of themselves, that and if you can imagine in the office environment, if you're super, super susceptible, you could find yourself working at a deficit to the potential that you have because of how this is affecting you. Students in school, bombarded by Wi-Fi, learning at half the at a part at a percentage of the potential that they have because of the EMF that's floating around within their body, within their mind. And so these are all the things that we really want to bring to the forefront of what we're doing and why we're doing it, and why we want to get into areas where, this can actually make a difference because um, when we're talking about getting the audience that we require, that we want to share this with, we need to go in a way where we're going to get it's almost the respect in order to be able um, um, uh, to talk to large groups and share this valuable information, do demonstrations, and do them even within their environment where they pull their people together, and we're going and change their future one glass of water at a time, as we would say. So looking forward to everything that's coming down the road. And so this is just a simple process in reality, as we said, to reduce the impact of what is attacking us, what's after us, and then restore and enhance everything that's going to make it even better within our system so that everything that we do is doing it at its best. Like I keep saying over and over again, it's about, and I've said this to people over and over, it's about taking care of ourselves better than we take care of our vehicles. Because this app for $200 a year is something that is like maintenance to your body, like nothing else could be when it comes to structuring, energizing the water, the frequencies that you require in your body to function optimally and recover, restore, and be your best and have your joints and all the issues that you normally might feel literally get washed away with structured, energized water. So all of these things, it's such a simple process. So we're going to go now into how we can neutralize some of the negative effects within the home and see if we can find ways to have it so that our bodies don't have to work quite so hard in order to keep us healthy, and drinking the water and all those things, and spraying ourselves can be enhanced even further. So, in part of this is how do we help our bodies to do all the things that it needs to be? So, one of the ways is to turn off the wireless as often as we can, turning off the Wi-Fi routers when we go to bed at night and when we go to sleep, because these things are constantly sending their signal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your cordless phone is the regular cordless phones. This is something I learned about almost 20 years ago, was one of the most dangerous things in the home. And we went through a time where literally every home had a cordless phone in every floor. And so that the baby monitors, the wireless baby monitors, and that, when you think about it, every child almost had a wireless baby monitor in their room once they became available. And unfortunately, and right beside the bed, very bad energy. So these are all things that are a little bit easier to control and can manage if we are aware and are taking, proper steps in order to reduce. Then we can also swap out certain things. So I don't know if anybody out there is still using compact fluorescents, because I know as soon as LEDs came into being available, I swapped out everything in my house to LEDs. And now you can also remove dimmer switches because they actually create bad energy. Touch lamps, plasma TVs, decorative lights, and flashers. So, these are things that we never would probably even think about, in the sense of how they are so common in every home, but we would never think about how they actually could affect us. So the compact fluorescents, I know they have different reasons why I took them out of my homes, and one of those is if one ever broke and whatever was inside got out. I wasn't happy with that. But just so many different things just to make their living environment safer. Excuse me. This was an interesting one. So this one here is where, if you're looking for hidden problems where there is electricity coming through, like an outlet or a connection or something like that, if you've got a battery powered AM radio and you put it on a blank station and then you walk around your house and you listen for the static. So, and when you find static area, you should be able to move that radio closer to the static and get it to go louder. And at that point, you know that there's energy leak there, and it's something that you would be able to address and have fixed. So, and then of course, there's filters that can be installed within your home that can also help to reduce the output of these negative frequencies. Every little bit helps, as they say. So, additionally, I find these things really interesting because it's even things that I never would have myself even thought of, because I think of when I'm using my laptop, I think of using my laptop, and I always have my laptop plugged in. Now, I won't always have my laptop plugged in, because it says when it's plugged in, it's actually giving you more electromagnetic fields, more bad energy compared to when you unplug it and just run off the battery. And you know what? It makes a whole lot of sense. So when your laptop starts to flicker that it wants to go dead, that's when you plug it back in. Hardwiring your internet, that's something that, yes, I've known about for a long time. And instead of using your Wi-Fi, especially on the computers that you work on most, my computer right here is hardwired, my desktop computer. So it doesn't run off the internet. It's bad enough. We've got the monitor and the computer and everything else. So now this was interesting, utilizing wood frame beds instead of metal springs, because the springs act like an antenna, and then it's picking up the EMF and the radiation while you sleep and amplifying it on your bed. So that would be talking about mattresses with metal springs in them and box springs, anything like that. So very interesting information. And then, of course, turning off any circuits at night that you can to reduce more electricity while in the healing hours while you're sleeping. Even moving your electric clock from the side of your bed. And happily to say, mine's right down at the very foot of the bed, and I'd say it's about 6 feet from the bed because I don't use it for an alarm, I just use it for a time. So little things that matter. And then using a wired keyboard and mouse rather than a battery operated one totally makes sense. And of course, not sleeping with your cell phone in the bedroom, very important. So the bottom line is every foot of distance from an EMF source drastically reduces your exposure to the EMF. And these small habits make a big difference. So every little bit helps. Now, not getting into that. So they did take some numbers here, and this was interesting on account of the fact that um, based on the standards that are set, the European markets allow very little of the microwatts signals, the electrical signals to come through the devices and the services that are provided compared to the Western world. And you can see the level of strength because of the way that they classify the um, the damage, what the damage can be. They are using the heating of the tissue to figure out whether the strength of the device is high enough to harm you. So that's like saying that that's like saying you're going to take an egg, but if it cooks over the course of 10 minutes, it's fine. But if it cooks in 3 minutes, it's too much. That's kind of the thing that is I see being used to figure out how dangerous something to tell us something, how dangerous it is to tell us something is. Based on something like that. And I don't think I feel comfortable enough with those types of clarifications to say that you're doing what's best for my health and my well-being. And again, all of these things are affecting you. They're affecting the melatonin and your sleep and the repair cycles that your body tries to go through. So again, the beautiful part about knowing what the problem is and being aware of how dangerous it is the fact that we actually do have the ability to take care of it. We have the antidote. Just 1 second. I just want to, before I continue wearing healing crystals, you need to know what crystals you should wear on your right or left wrist can have a different effect on your body. Okay. Sorry, just checking, making sure we have important information. And so, again, when it comes to the Bio-Photonic charger, it's very, very simple. It's very, very effective. And the beauty part is that it's so simple that everybody can do it. It's so inexpensive that every home can own it. And the way it works, it's just a smart app that opens up, creates a portal to our lab in Germany to download the biophotons and the frequencies, 37 harmonizing frequencies that go through your flashlight and your speakers into the water and changing that water from H2O to H3O2 within 42 seconds. And if you do it a second time and a third time, it will increase the strength of those frequencies. You consume that, you can spray it over your body, and instantly I mean, instantly neutralize the EMF in your bodies. And over the course of the next 10 minutes, the way your blood is going to flow in your body is going to be different than how it was previous because your blood now becomes unsticky, unmagnetic, and your cells start to free flow within your body the way they were designed to. Your chakras become more brilliant, more vibrant. Your aura becomes more settled. Everything now becomes more aligned, and your body is now capable of feeling more natural, more grounded, more earthly, more godly in every way. And the more you consume the water, the better you are because your cells are going to react constantly to the water that they're being fed. They're going to take in the fluids deeper into their cells. They're going to expel toxins deeper out of their cells, and you will reap the benefits from the activity that goes on within your body as your cellular communication increases drastically because the biophotons is the light of your life and it is interacting and your cells are now communicating so much better. The restoration of your whole internal network, cellular network, has been stopped and enhanced, and the disruption from the EMF has been neutralized. You have the frequencies, 37 of the 43 frequencies within you, now doing nature's healing, and your body is now functioning better with the light and the sound of life. All of this stuff has been researched by Dr. Gerald Pollack out of the University of Washington, where he found there was a fourth phase of water called easy water or exclusion water or H3O2, the same water that you would get in the purest of springs out of the mountains up as high as you can go. This is what you want in your body. It's nature. We do not want regular H2O coming out of our tap full of toxins and unstructured and chaotic. We want to have the hexagonal crystalline structures that creates the hydration and the detoxification that we actually need. We want that deep cellular hydration. We want the energy carried to every area within our body, every capillary, every joint. We want, as we said, the enhanced detoxification and a number one, again, everything that we consume, we want the absolute best out of it. So that's absorption, nutrient absorption, and getting our goods deep into our system. Uh, so I'm just going to read some of the comments that are coming in. And this first one says, wearing healing crystals, you need to know what crystals you should wear on your right or left wrist. And you can have different effect on your body. They can have different effect on your body. As a building biologist, we use the acronym FIND for frequency, intensity, nearness, and duration. Distance is your friend when it comes to staying away from the bad frequencies. And indigenous, when dancing, wet their moccasins to be better exposed to earth frequencies. Ah, interesting. That is very interesting. So moccasins now they're earthly because they're made from animals' skin. So that would explain why they would be more conductive. Would that be correct? Okay, I will carry on and wait for the answer. So again, all this is about restoring your cellular communication as the EMF disrupts it. It's about counteracting the chaotic frequencies and getting sine waves back into your body and reconnecting you or grounding you to the earth as if you were walking barefoot on the grass in the olden days. So we have to now, we're getting so technologically advanced that we have to counter the technology with technology.
Hey, Mike, yeah, so the wet moccasins actually increase the electrical conductivity.
Yes, that they can't make sense.
Plastic's not going to do it.
I guarantee you, yes, that's for sure. Um, so yeah, so that is really, really hard to do these days, which is getting ourselves grounded. So using the technology, such as the water, as simple as it is, the spraying, as simple as it is exactly what we need to neutralize that energy sapping electrical pollution. So when it boils down to it now, let's look at the benefits. And the benefits are not just for us as humans, the benefits can cross over. And for people, we're looking at explosive energy, we're looking at mental clarity, we're looking at deeper sleep, true hydration, younger looking skin. For our pets, there's a lot more to the people side of it too. Like we're talking digestive system. We have the list of, I believe it's 15 critical areas that this enhances when it comes to our bodily functions and how it makes us better. So that's on the website and available to go through them all. And for our pets, because they're pretty much like we are, they will get the same benefits and they will choose the clean, structured, energized water. And it's going to increase their vitality. It's going to help their coat and their health. And overall wellness for them is going to improve. They will live longer, be better, just like we would. For the plants, they're going to have more vigorous growth. They're going to look fuller, stronger roots, and better resilience to grow because they'll have the ability to suck up the nutrients that they need to thrive to their best of their ability. Now, when it comes to the athletes, this is where to me, it also gets very interesting because if an athlete can be enhanced, then any of us can be enhanced because an athlete has way more taxing effects on their body than we would as normal people. So, and it's just like the same thing I've said for the last 20 years when it comes to how frequencies can. So let's put it this way, folks. Over the last 20 years, I've seen the miracles of frequency touching people to the point where I would use this terminology and I've used it many, many times. You have watched some of those TV shows, evangelistic TV shows, where the preacher puts his hand on somebody's head and he goes, heal. And that person gets up and does a black back flip after sitting in a wheelchair for a year. You've seen it on TV. Well, I've pretty much seen it live when frequencies have been applied to people who are really susceptible to frequencies or just people who they're just ready. Some people they're just ready for frequencies when they hit them to the point where I've told you some of the stories through some of the events that I've gone through over the years where people have basically walked away with their cane twirling in their hand when they walked up, they couldn't do without it. I've told you stories about people getting out of their wheelchair after 30 minutes with me and being able to walk and jump up and down because of frequencies. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So once you've seen and you know the power of this and its ability to change lives, nothing will deter you from your conviction in what your belief system is and what you've been able to witness. I had one gentleman. Um, whether he was a true believer or not, it's still hard to say, but he was when he came back to me. So this gentleman was a member of the Knights of Columbus, I believe, and he had an event in Toronto, and he had one of my frequency products, a disc, with him. When he went there, the person that he had somebody who had Parkinson's, shaking Parkinson's, where the hand was literally vibrating. His conviction came when he put that disc in that woman's hand, and within 2 minutes, the shaking absolutely stopped. He came back to me and he sat at my desk and he said, Mike, from now on, you can tell me that this thing is bullshit that you've been sharing with me, but no matter what you say, I now know it's real. This is the kind of conviction that you actually want, okay? So for athletes, well, what I was leading that to was to the point of saying that once you've seen this and you understand, then I've always said to people, when you've seen what it can do to the sick, you will understand how it can help to prevent for the healthy. So people always want to wait till it's dire straits and then look for every solution. I believe we need to change that. We need to look for the solution before the issue even arises. This is the solution. Frequency, water, with good energy. So for the athletes, when they do this, they're going to improve their endurance. They're going to improve their performance. They're going to be able to go longer, go deeper, go better, faster recovery. Soreness of their muscles will be less after training, recovery less. I remember my brother, when he was building his house, he said, I shoveled barrels, trailer loads of gravel, and I should have been done, but I know it was your frequency products that made me be able to do it and recover very, very quickly after, because the way it rejuvenates your body is absolutely amazing. So reduced in oxidative stress for better cellular health for the athletes, enhanced focus so that, for the performance of an athlete, we believe, and I believe it's well said, that 20% of their performance comes from their brain, if not more than 20%, because I believe if your brain is not in tune to do what you need to do, you will trip and you will fall and it'll be all over. So very powerful for people. So we've had people tell us the stories about how they're drinking the water regular, they're feeling less pain, more energy, feeling better, clear, getting deeper sleep from drinking the water, deeper sleep than they've ever had, recommending it to patients and having excellent results. And we've got some people doing that at great lengths. We've got Dr. Marcel and Paula who have done the dowsing and took city dead water and used the app on it and realized how fast the thing can spin, how wide it can spin, and how very powerful it is. And of course, we've got people who sprayed themselves to neutralize the bad energy, and GJ with her issue with the cell phone, being able to cool her head and quell her issues and have so many other positive effects. Um, uh, GJ, you just had something interesting, which is not quite on the health side, but it does have an effect on what it shows what can happen with some of the things that we're always experimenting. So, GJ, go ahead and jump in there and tell us what happened.
Well, Mike, I love to experiment just like you. And I recently drove from Georgia to Indiana to the Maple Sugar Festival. It was a 17-hour drive, and I sprayed myself and I sprayed my chakras. I sprayed my car seat. I reactivated my spray twice on the trip. And when I got there, we were going around to all the different maple sugar camps trying to decide which one we were going to buy. And I knew I wanted a wood fire one, but I didn't know who had the best. And the lady I was staying with had gone to a historic place that was doing reenactment and stuff. And she had spent $13 for like a half a pint of this maple syrup in this tin container. It was supposed to look like something of our great grandparents. And she said, "Oh, I bought this. I want you to taste it." And she's going on and on and on about how good it is. And it was not palatable. I mean, it was the nastiest tasting maple syrup I've ever tasted in my life. And all I can figure is that the tin must have leached into the maple syrup when they poured it in hot. And she was just devastated that this was going to, ruin her maple syrup that she thought was so uh, special, but it wasn't. So I said, well, hang on just a minute. Don't throw it away. So I poured it in a glass and I used my app to re-energize it. And I could not believe the difference in the taste. I mean, it would be something to use as an experiment because it was so different that in emergency I would have used it. Now she was going to eat it because she thought it was fantastic. One of the things I've noticed in using this water is my taste buds are becoming more aware. And I had gone to an Amish farm and I bought some kind of a spicy tincture thing. I've been experimenting in making mayonnaise, and she kept warning me. She said, this is really, really tart. She said, I use it for medicine for my kids to knock out colds and stuff. And she said, I just don't know if you're going to be able to drink it. Well, I just energized it and it was fantastic. And I want to show you a picture. When I was traveling, here's the microgreens that can you see them? These are sunflower microgreens that I grew in my house, and then I put them on the dash of my car when I was traveling, and they were just about ready to harvest here. And oh my God, they just taste so much better by being sprayed and watered with the water from
Yeah.
from this app. And so it was really fun,
Oh,
the whole trip. And she drinks coffee, and she said, "Oh, I don't know why I'm drinking this stuff." She said, "I just really like it, but it's so bitter." She said, I can't afford the more expensive coffee. This is so bitter." And I said, "Well, let me fix it." So we fixed her cup, and as you know, she's getting herself an app because
yeah.
she says, "I don't understand this. All I know is I gotta have it." It's just, I mean, it changed her life. And but I was able to do the trip because I sprayed my seat in my car a lot.
Very good. All right, so very good. So what we'll do now, if we've got some people who are new, we'll do the sending of the light and the frequencies through the camera, so you can actually test it on your end. Let's see who's all on here. So grab yourself two glasses of water, and then we'll take some questions after. What we'll do is we'll put one glass away. You can use water, you can use wine, you can use whatever you like, but put one away from the monitor or your cell phone or whatever, and then the other one is going to go right in front of your monitor or your cell phone, and then I'm going to send the light from my cell phone through the camera to your monitor, and you're going to get to have some structured, energized water on your end. So I'll just give you a few seconds to get yourself prepped. I'll get my phone ready in the meantime. Okay, all right. So you've got two glasses. One's away from the screen, and one's going to be at the screen to receive the frequencies from my phone. So going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And hold on, sorry, hold on. I have to stop my screen share. Stop my screen share. And now, okay, now I can do that. So let me back up. All right, get ready. And 3, 2, 1, go. I'll do it twice. Must look kind of shaky today. Coming back at you. Okay, one more time. I'm finding it. Okay, I'm going to make a really bad joke, okay? By shakiness, I look like Bill Clinton at his deposition. Sorry, a bad joke. Okay, so you now have got the frequency from my phone through to the camera to your screen. And if you held your glass up, you should have a change in your water that's there. So what you will do is you will take the structured, the energized one, bring it up to your nose, have a sniff of it on the way up, take a sip of it and feel the texture in your mouth. Feel how it's, you can tell me after, but just sample that water yourself. And then after you're comfortable that you feel you understand it well, reach for the other glass and take a sip and smell the other one, which is not structured, and let us know if you can notice the difference. And if you'd like to make a comment, raise your arm or just go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll be happy to hear from you. While I'm waiting for that, another comment. God is nature and nature is in God. They are inseparable. We need to support those things that best mimic nature. This may help us get closer to nature and God, the life force. Prana Chi. As we increase separation between ourselves and nature, the environment becomes less supportive and ungodly. So true. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Okay, so any comments? Everybody's already tested the water. They know what it's like, feel good. So anyway, let's carry on then and see where we're going to continue on to with our little presentation. Just one moment. So if you have a comment, feel free to drop it in there at any time. All right. Continuing on, I believe. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we did the two glasses. We've done the taste and the smell. Everything's good. And we'll continue. So again, the parts that you want to do is just think about how you want to take care of yourself. Um, do you want to turn off that Wi-Fi at night? Take your phone out of the bedroom, replace and put LEDs in. Unplug devices when you're not using them and if you don't need them. I'm a device crazy guy, so I need to go around and maybe double, triple check what I've been doing. Again, over the course of time, find ways to improve it, hardwire the internet connection. If you're in an older home in particular, check for get someone to check your wiring, do the radio trick around the house and see if you need to have somebody have a look inside. Again, if you are starting to use the app, very simple. Just start making sure that you're drinking at least 3+ glasses of water a day. Start with water in your morning, preferably warm or hot with a pinch of salt to really energize your electrical system. So water in your salt increases the conductivity within your electrical circuitry. So it's great to start the day just a pinch of salt in your hot, energized, structured water. That salt also being the mineral helps to hold the frequencies in there and deliver it into your system much stronger at the same time. So then you just become a habit of doing the spraying, doing the consumption, and then once you've started spraying and drinking, the next step is to increase usage, start cooking with it, and then sharing with the family and friends. Get everybody moving towards a safer, more natural, more godly lifestyle. And instead of us worrying about safety standards, let's worry about just taking care of ourselves and making sure that we're in the best shape because of the fact that we are aware and care in order to do it. And as we're doing, we're just simply sharing. And as we're sharing, people are becoming more educated. We're all becoming smarter. And then we want to pass this on through to the next generation because they're worse off than we are because these teenagers, even our people's in their 20s, they've been living with the cell phone now for decades. And it's impeded so much for them that we need to get this deeper into our communities so that the knowledge is the first thing that impacts them, and then having the tools becomes the second thing that impacts them. So understanding the balance in nature is understanding the effects that this has on our life. So when it comes to the bees and the insects, they rely on the subtle electromagnetic fields for the navigation, and the wireless pollution, the dirty energy, disrupts their ability to find their hives, pollinate, and do the things that they're supposed to do. Birds are birds are falling off electrical wires because of 5G. The EMF is confusing them, it's making them sick, and things are happening. And we probably don't have a really strong, solid idea of how bad these things are. It's like it's like anything else. When it comes to what can be harmful to us, they only tell us what they want to tell us in order to manage us. And so we need to be proactive in order to understand all the dangers and the damages that are going on around us, especially when it comes to us, ourselves, people, mankind as a whole. We need to take care of these things. And if it's as simple as running water through our Bio-Photonic charger or our collars in order to feed our trees, our plants, our animals, and make things better for all of us, it's not that difficult. So again, trees, plants, if they're by cell towers, it affects them. We know that there's so many different things. There's things above the ground, there's things under the ground that can all play an effect on our health and our wellness. So the more that we can do to protect ourselves and balance out our lives in order to keep ourselves healthy, and then share it to help keep mankind healthier naturally. These are our missions. These are our goals moving forward. Reduce the negative, enhance the positive, and make life simple, simply healthier. And it's simple. All you got to do is register with a ReferLife affiliate, download and purchase and download the app, share and earn. And we will take care of all your needs. Again, the future is frequency. Reclaim your vitality. We live in a sea of invisible energy, and now we have the power to choose which frequencies we allow into our bodies. So change your water, change your frequency, and change your life. Thanks, folks. And let's jump back here to see what's going on. It's amazing. Thank you. Yeah. So GJ has been experimenting also with putting the biophotonic water into a copper container, whereas previously that container only was tested on a scale of 0 to 100. It tested out at 65, which is not bad. But now, is this, GJ, would you like to come on and explain, is this over time that the water is sitting in the bottle that it's gone up, or is this another way of it go up like this?
Actually, this was your test tonight that you did live. I tested it, live when you were just doing it just now.
Oh,
So it doesn't seem to matter where the starting point is, as long as you use your app in a clear glass, and seems like 12 ounces seems to be a proper amount.
yeah.
And it will change it to infinity. And our bodies were designed to run on infinity, but what in the world do we have that has that frequency?
If I'm holding something in my hand, can you read on it?
Well, what do you want? What do you want me to ask?
Is this one reading out to infinity?
I'm getting to know. Now you can have things that are very high frequency.
Yeah.
And so a healthy man runs in a 0 to 100 for 55 to 60, and a healthy woman runs from 60 to 65. Now that's the published figures. I personally think it's much lower than that now because of the food that people are eating. So anything that you do over your frequency is going to build your body.
Yeah.
Now my water starting out at 65 seemed to be pretty good if a man and woman are that, but my frequency is 79. So every time I was drinking water, it was actually wearing me out. And so when I would go to the doctor, they would run tests because they thought I had a kidney infection. And what it was is that my body was not assimilating the water, and I was drinking large quantities of water to keep from being dehydrated. And so it was actually making my kidneys work overtime. So since I've been drinking this water, uh, I don't have to drink as much, and I drink warm or hot water in the morning and night. And it just, my body's just real happy about it.
Well, the reason I had asked that was because it was a larger volume of water, and I was just wondering if the app, as I had ran it on it, how much it had infused it. But I had a feeling that it wasn't going because it was such a large volume of water that I had. That's
Well, I think the collar would probably help with that.
yes, yes. Okay. So we got a question. What is the effect on the water if the cellular signal is low? What redundancy is built in for the service in Germany and latency? Okay, so long as your app turns on and is running, it is doing the job. It doesn't draw a lot of power. It just requires a decent signal in order to function. So long as it's not running and stopping, it's going to do the job properly. I hope that answers your question. So it's not about your cell signal being low. It's just I believe it's just once your app is up and running and the flashlight is on and the music is playing, it's doing the job. Um, it does it does have a little, but again, it does have a positive effect on it. I've done some tests on different things that way. A lot of the people we're just against the microwave in a lot of ways, but I had done some tests on it, and it does have a positive effect on things that do come out. But the damage done to food in the microwave, we don't feel is repairable. But it would add frequencies and biophotons to the food in order to enhance it.
It would probably just help you to eliminate it faster, is what it would do.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Feel free. The environment, almost everything it is epigenetics, not genetics. That's for sure. The effect of everything that is well put. Everything that we're doing is so based on epigenetics. We are literally working now to reorganize matter in order to make ourselves healthier. We have that ability to create change within our environment and in our body is an environment. So we're creating change within that environment, which is going to have a ripple effect on our overall wellness, our DNA as a whole. That is changing everything about us. So if by doing this we add 20 years to our life, 10 years to our life, or a healthier life, these are all things that are totally relevant to our epigenetics and what we're doing. Yes, you're the Nick, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter where the water comes from. It is always going to take the frequencies. It's always going to take the biophotons. It's always going to be improved. It's going to neutralize a lot of the negativity in there. With the microwave, it's just one of those things where it's an unknown as to how much molecular damage it's actually doing to the water itself. before we try to fix it. More comments, questions?
Yeah, Mike.
Yes,
And so over generations and poor lifestyle choices, we've actually created an environment for genetic weaknesses to appear in our DNA.
absolutely.
But given the ultimate supportive environment, you can actually correct those genetic weaknesses and get them out of your family tree.
Absolutely true. What happened to your grandparents or your parents doesn't necessarily have to happen to you. Okay, well, folks, if there's nothing else, I will call that an excellent little education for tonight. What I'm going to do here also, I like this and I'd really like what I did. Oh, absolutely. Um, Supplements, even medication, because so the question is, can the app enhance supplements? And that is absolutely 1000%. It'll enhance everything that's putting in. When you're drinking this water, it's going to carry your supplements, your nutrients, everything deeper. Even your medication is going to uh, go deeper into your system and have a stronger overall effect on what it's trying to do. Maybe your medication will get encapsulated in the water and flushed out of your body if you're lucky. I don't know. But the point being that the things that are going into your body, if they're supposed to be doing something in there, it's going to do it better because the water is not is it's removing the obstacles first off that would impede the ability for the things to do what they need to do, but it's not just going to do that, it's also going to enhance them on account of the fact that your body's now more naturally susceptible to receive. It's more open to receive everything good that's coming to it. So, and that's what you want. So can you charge the supplements before consuming? Okay, so this is what I do. So even right now, um, you see my camera? I don't see myself, but right now, in this structured and energized water, I have a thing, you see it looks yellow, it looks like pee. I put a thing in here called Smart. It's a powdered supplement. You just add it there, and it's to help your brain function better. So I've heated it up. I've added it to this. I make it like a tea, but instead of a tea, I'm drinking this super enhancing liquid. So in the morning, when I get up, I'm doing similar, but in the morning, I'm doing it's water with the salt, minerals, baking soda, a little bit of baking soda in there, and I get that to rock out my mornings. And then I do my smoothie, and all of it's all done with the Bio-Photonic structured water because I want the absolute max out of everything that I'm doing, of course, right? And fortunate for me, I can drink as much of this stuff as I want, and the only thing I'm going to do is pee. So um, I totally recommend anything that you want to put into your body. Yeah, do it with this. And if you're taking supplements, your supplements should either be liquid, so you could easily add it and blend it into this, or it should be a powder that dissolves completely into this. Shouldn't be taking pills, okay? You're wasting your money. Yes, be aware of tap water has microplastics in it, so we are better off. The cleaner the water, the better. Put my fulvic acid in my charged water every morning. Absolutely. Yeah, so experiment. You can't really go wrong with trying different things. All you can do is enhance and go clean a little deeper. And that's the thing. When I'm doing my diatomaceous earth for cleansing, I use this because I want it to go deeper. That means that the diatomaceous dust, the diatomaceous powder, is going to go into these smaller molecules and go deeper and clean deeper. Um, Absolutely. Also, too, another fact of that is the silica in the diatomaceous earth and the the calcium and all that is going to get deeper into your system, joints, and stuff like that too. And when it comes to things that you do for preventative means, whether it be for cancer or for whatever, the deeper it gets, the better off it is, of course, right? Your animals, you love your animals, feed them the water. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, great time. Love these little get-togethers. See you next week, Wednesday, for another good one. And we will have some updates coming to you in email. So make sure you've got admin@referlife.org in your address book so that they come to your inbox. And look forward to talking to you soon. Have yourself a great weekend and a great rest of your week. And share, share, share.